Portal's blue. Here's some shard pulls for you. Hey, I'm Bront CatHerder, and we're having fun pulling shards in Raid Shadow Legends. You know what's more fun than pulling shards? Pulling shards with friends. And since I can't have you all here, I figured I'd record this video and share it all with you so you can see my luck, be it good or bad, and we can have some fun. I do plan on continuing to do my deep dive videos every Saturday, but I'm going to try to record smaller videos like shard pulls and stuff like that when I can. Just hopefully you guys enjoy them. And if you have any other requests, list if you like any of the champions you see here and want me to do some breakdowns on them. There's a comment section down below. Please leave comments. Please leave your likes. And if you are not a subscriber to the channel, I definitely would appreciate helping my channel grow by giving that subscribe. So, without much further ado, I've got 9 ancient shards. I would love a Brogni or a Herndig. Legendary dwarves have eluded me for a long time, but I started before Brogni, and Brogni has got so much general utility. I think he'd be helpful even on my account that's very late game. Not really looking for a lot of epics, but, you know, I'll highlight some of the champions I like along the way, and we'll have some fun. Let's get to pulling. We've got 9 single shards right here. And start off with an epic. Now, I have not been up on her kit. She's fairly new-ish in Clan Boss early on, but nothing strikes me as particularly good. Although very early on in Clan Boss, healing an enemy poison damage, she could have a lot of sustain that other champions might. But honestly, she's not a particularly great champ. I wouldn't build her past 40 if I was getting. So, pulling. And I am nowhere near my mercy, so it's going to be, double epic. Captain Tamila, not bad. So I'm not expecting a legendary, but it's always nice to. Tiger Soul, not that great. Versus a rare, so. Grandmaster, no thank you. Lots of epics. Cornelia is a lot of fun. Sleep can be very useful. She's got some good control in the arena. This ability here that sleeps an ally and then depending on how the sleep is removed, it's actually very powerful, especially on a 2-turn cooldown. You can use this to solo a lot of Doom boss champs. There's another fellow content creator, YST, does a lot of videos on that. I would suggest checking out if you're interested in trying to use Cornelia. But she can be good in faction wars and actually in arena and doing a lot of Doom Tower. Very underrated. Thank you. Here, no, thank you. Body Mage, no. Ironclad. Ironclad's pretty unique. Passive, when healed, will attack at all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to a surplus heal. You get a really giant healer. You can have some fun combinations duking with her. Particularly, most recently there was a couple of videos I've seen with Ironclad being used with Woad Painted. Now, not a viable endgame comp, but a fun comp. And you know what? This game's about having some fun. So, single pulls. Let's get into. And we got a Karg on the ground, not bad. Greybeard's not a bad rare. We've got a freeze. Sentinel can be interesting. He's got some provocability. He's actually good at some of the HP secret rooms as well. Overall, not a particular. Frog Lord. That's it. Yeah, Pathfinder Kate's okay. She can do damage. I think Prosecutor can actually be fairly hard for a rare as well. Metal Shaper is very useful early game for Scarab because you have a 2-turn shield on a 2-turn cooldown. Do keep in mind, however, that Metal Shaper's shield is the weakest shield in Raid Shadow Legends. It didn't actually do anything other than exist. Oh, getting rare text. Shadow Bow Tirlac is actually a pretty solid rare if you're looking for bolster your rare up there. Ogre and Jailer has some of the highest multipliers in the game. Now, as a rare with not a lot of attack, he doesn't really do a lot, but he's actually got some. Well, I don't say do a lot, but he doesn't do a lot of damage comparatively. But he's got some interesting utility. Early game, he would be a bad champ to build out a little bit. Um, Late game, there were people that were in arena for a while, but I don't think anymore. And really, you need here to make him work at low end arena. But he could help your account early on. Apothecary, he's one of the MVPs of the early game. Lots of speed with him, lots of get some heals out of him as well, and the 3-hit attack is very good for Fortnite. Definitely worth up. One of the other ones I want to grab note here is Yaga the Insatiable. Yaga the Insatiable is a login champ. I believe he is the 60-day login champ. He has the distinction of being one of the most fed champions in the game. He is really bad. Do not invest in him outside of building him level 40 if you absolutely need a champion. Um, one 40% chance of placing one poison, book 50%, but this 4 books that when you're looking for a champion that's bad, these books are going to be hard to come by. So book them. Wow, this 6 more books here. With a 50% bookable to 75% of pacing poison on one target. So we're already at 10 books. Here's another 5 books. This is a 15-book epic. And this doesn't hit very hard. They're all single target attacks, and none of them are guaranteed poisons. There are just about every champion in the game that is poison is a better poisoner than him. Outlaw Monk is a better poisoner than Yaga. Do not invest in Yaga. Save yourself some time, save yourself some pain, save yourself some blood. Yeah. Brush the Mangler. Brush is another login champ, so I'll highlight him while I've got him here. Brush is actually pretty solid for a login champ. You get him fairly late. He's the second to last login champ you get before you cast physics. But this can hit reasonably hard, places the lead beforehand, so he can heal himself ahead of time. Bookable to 75% chance to place leech, pretty solid. Leech is buff. He can be useful in clan boss if you're still fighting build an unkillable team. And he's actually very good for damage as well as healing in the section. Decrease attack and decrease crit damage, 60% chance bookable to 100. Crit damage not useful in PvE, but it can't hurt. Decrease attack, however, is very good, particularly in clan boss, but can be very good for wave clear, and this does hit pretty hard. Not amazingly hard, he's not going to be an arena nuker, but he can be a wave nuker for Action Wars, help you in Doom Tower, help you in some secret rooms. Okay. Finally, this one here, which also hits pretty hard, attacks all enemies, places a 15% continued heal on all eyes for 2 turns, and places an additional 7.5% continued 1 turn if one enemy hit with a critical hit. You build him with some crit rates to do damage. On a 4-turn cooldown gives you a decent chunk of heal. 15% for 2 turns, 7.5% for 1 turn is nothing to sneeze at. Combined with the leech, combined with the reduced damage you'll be back, he's got a very focused, sustainable kit. A very good. Not going to change your account, but could change your Ugrin faction, and he can definitely help you in general. Grimbor is one of the new works. A very good champ. At the 2-turn ally protect on a 3-turn cool, except for with increased defense and useful because this will help keep all your champions alive. Removes 1 random debuff from allies before attacking, attacks all enemies, and damage increase. Now, I don't know if you're going to be building him for a lot of damage, particularly but a cleanse with an ally attack, with an AoE attack, very helpful. Weaken and not bad on an A1. Whenever this champion is attacked, a 20% chance of all debuffs on the champion by 1 turn, so he gets himself out of debuff. Hooked up as well. Very good for sustain. I like the Orc Reviver a little bit better than this guy, but he's a very good champ for sustain. I do wish that he turned down rather than a 4, but overall, he's actually got a pretty reliable and pretty nice kit. So you could do worse than building out a Trimbor. For Helm, he is a rosin. Mycelic Priest Ornn is a very good poisoner. I remember I was talking about Yaga being a bad poisoner. Mycelic Priest Ornn is a poisoner who is good enough to do soloing. On this thing, attacks all enemies, 50% chance and 75% chance of poisons and poison sense. And then he heals himself for each poison placed by the skills. Gets some healing from passive. Increases his HP and defense as he goes with damage take. So he gets tankier and tankier, good for soloing. Activates poisons on his A2. Only 1 enemy, but it is a 100% chance of activating 1 poison twice. Can do some extra damage, particularly against bosses. And then an A1 that places poisons. Plus is an HP champ, so he'll end up with a decent amount of HP and decent amount of defense. You don't need to worry about attack for usually solo champions anyway. So the fact that his HP and defense are part of what he scales with make him very tanky. He's a very, very good champ. If you don't need a champion like this for general content, dash one away, because when Faction Wars comes out for the Sylvan Watchers, which currently as of this video, it's not out yet, he's going to be a very, very helpful of passing that from Haikatoon. We've been highlighting some login champions. Why don't we continue on that? Haikatoon is actually my favorite game speedster over Apo. Apothecary is great. This skill on her and Apothecary the same skill. She only needs 1 book for it. I think Apothecary needs more, but he's a rare. 3-turn cooldown, 30% increased speed on all allies, and a 50% turn meter boost. This is very good for keeping you moving in all content, not just arena. But she's very good in arena, and honestly all content. Also has the ally speed 19% boost in all battles aura. And that's something that Apo does not have. Apo has a nice dungeon aura, but it is not the increased speed aura. On top of that, even unbooked, this skill has a 50% chance of reducing turn meter and is an AoE attack. Now, it doesn't do a lot of damage, although she can hit hard if you build her for some damage. Generally, as a speed champion, you're going to build her to go super fast and probably with some accuracy. She doesn't need accuracy, you don't want. The other thing that's nice about her, especially for champions, dungeons like Fire Knight, decrease speed on the A1. If it's only a 25% chance, it books up to 40. You get the Sniper Mastery to get that up to 45. And if she's going super fast, you'll get a couple chances to get this off before the enemy takes a turn. So this is also very useful in arena, because it can also disrupt the arena teams as well, as can this. So if you have books for her, it is not a waste to build a Haikatoon up to 60 and to book her. She will be a very valuable champion for you in arena early on. She will be a very good champion for you in 3v3 later on. I took her absolutely everywhere with me on my main account when I was working on it, because speed boost I just found made my team survive better and made my team do more damage because I took more turns than the enemies. And I just found her speed aura and all it to be amazing. She helped me a ton in the I preferred her over Apothecary. In fact, I did 6-star Apothecary for a long time. I had a 6-star Haikatu, one of the first 5 champions I 6-starred, and I do not regret it to this day. She carried me for a long time, high up into arena, used her for a long time in 3v3, got a lot of use out of her. Absolutely do not feed her, because even if you decide not to get to her to a 6-star, even as a 5-star, she can help you in faction wars. She can be helpful for you in arena or 3v3 early on until you build out your roster. Definitely a champ worth keeping around and using. Honestly, if you throw a book and keep on throwing books in her until you this one skill, this is the only skill you really need to hit that makes her kit pop. And that looks like that's all the yep, that is everything we have. So got a bunch of login champs, bunch of epics. Not too bad. Let's take a look and see how I did on the tournament. All right, got all the way up here. I am not close to getting Lego book, so I will have to see if I decide I want to charge for that. Probably not. I like the Lego books, but I don't have any resources I really am looking to spend to get anymore. Will, however, take a later, but you know, it was fun pulling some shards. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully you had some fun with me. Thank you very much. Again, leave a like, hop on that subscribe button, and leave a comment down below if there's anything you'd like to see me. I've been Bront CatHerder. Have fun.